Today's High Performance Podcast is brought to you by Josh Phegan Digital. It's where you'll find our revolutionary blueprint course. There's only one place that you can go from zero to hero over a weekend by watching the incredible blueprint. It's everything you'll need to be that $1 million agent. Prospecting, listing, negotiation, and growth. Broken up into short 15-minute pieces, skip to the content you need now or watch from the beginning to end. Only on Josh Phegan Digital. Welcome to High Performance, the podcast featuring Josh Phegan and Alexander Phillips. Alexander, you've dealt with a lot of this during the course of your career, but I like to go and call it market distractions. And market distractions is when something happens and all of a sudden there's an excusitis amongst real estate agents about why they can't do what they do. And naturally, they just literally waste a lot of time inside of their year. Alexander, right now in New Zealand, there's a bit of a feeling of we can't list properties. We've got an election coming up in October. What do you do to be able to, push past the objections that are happening inside of a marketplace? And what do you do to actually build that mindset so that when you have an objection like, oh, there's an election, it's not a good time to sell, it's not a good time to buy, rather than literally losing the 10 weeks heading into the election and having no momentum inside of your business?
Josh, it's about, you got to get rid of that mindset and push all the way through it. Probably the best way of explaining that is every other agent's doing that. There's a lack of stock. Buyers don't hibernate. You've got an oversupply of buyers. Get it on the market. Avoid. You're selling in isolation. You've got more eyes on you. Let's just get going with it, and then have stats around stock levels, what's happening in the market, the buyers at open homes, the volume. And really create obviously a flow of business so you don't actually because. You don't lose, 3 or 4 months because that's basically what's going to be happening. I think it's
right the way through the middle of spring too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So and then you've got Christmas and it's then you finish. So I think it's about I think that mindset then sort of flows onto the rest of the industry, and then therefore it sort of gets contagious. But I think it's about looking at that, going, geez, what can I do different? How can I be better? What can I do to be positive and cut through it and just keep listing and selling and ensure you are doing the right thing by the vendors, but you've got to get that out of your head.
I think this whole thing is you've got a really strong narrative. So Alex, this is what I'm going to see is happening right now. Every agent in New Zealand is not going to be listing properties heading into the election. If I was a seller, this is the perfect time to go to market. We have a low number of properties that are in marketplace. We've got a high number of buyers that are coming in that want to do something. I know the buyers that are particularly urgent. I met the Smiths and the Joneses that both sold their house last weekend. I've got some cashed up homeless people that need to buy. Alex, can I get them through your place? Softly. If they don't want to go before the election, at least get it listed. Have the ability to be able to show a couple of buyers off market. Get yourself in a position that you really start to gain that momentum. And then I then fight this every year where, Alex, here in Australia, obviously we've got Australia Day. I've got a lot of agents that won't launch until after Australia Day. Waitangi Day over in New Zealand, the first week of February. I've got a lot of agents in New Zealand that won't launch until after that in February. And I'm having a look at next year and I'm worried because Easter is at the end of March. So I'm having a quick look at it. They might have 4 or 5 actual auction Saturdays. They're going to try and do an entire quarter's worth of numbers in 5 weekends. Is that crazy? Like, do agents need to start thinking differently? Leave earlier in December, come back earlier January, start the campaigns earlier, get the opens moving, get in front of people and actually learn and plan through this calendar so you don't get hit by these weird distractions and obstacles that prevent you from producing great income.
And that's about looking like 6 months in advance and working around that and preparing your vendors and talking to them now about that so they're prepared that, let's go on the market early January or mid-January.
And I think this whole conversation is that what you're really good at is about planning about what you actually do. Alex, I tend to think that whenever the Melbourne Cup happens, that sort of first week of November, that's really the turn for me for where we start listing all of our stock for 2024. So one of the things I'm doing right now is I have a little T intersection. On the left-hand side, I write down 23, and on the right-hand side, I write down 24. And then I literally just, as I'm ringing people, Alex, lovely to meet you. Hey, quick question. You're thinking about doing something this year, or is next year going to be okay? Oh, we're thinking more next year. And is that about when you sell or when you settle? So if I had someone today that wanted to buy with a long settlement, what would you do then? Oh, well, look, we'd be interested in doing something today. And this is really that whole conversation that, you should be thinking about the best activities over the next 6 to 8 weeks. And let's call every market appraisal you've ever done. Let's go in a position that we call all the buyers sellers. And Alex, something that you said to me the other day which really struck, I think that nearly 10% of your current listings are people that have bought a property from you in the course of the last 11 months. I can't get real estate agents to call their past clients. I think it's so easy. Alex, it's Josh. Thought I'd give you a quick call. You bought your house with me in the last year. Thought I'd quickly check in. How are things with you guys? How's the house? and you're going to smoke out opportunity. Job relocations, the house isn't what they thought it was going to be, bit of financial pressure with the change in interest rates, whatever the story is. But at worst, you actually generate a referral. So Alex, how important is it that people just like really channel down and focus on where is the opportunity in my business in the course of the next 6 weeks to be able to build all of their momentum as we come to close out this year?
Josh, you realise that how short the year and how quickly it comes around, and if you really focus on that, you're going to just keep ploughing through and push on and make sure that you've had a great year.